awesome fans, me Megashark, and today I'm reacting to my story animated, and this one is about I was sucked into a video game. So let's get to it.
The room was lit by only our laptops. Sabrina and I were deep into our usual AFK journey match. As expected,
Wow.
Sabrina was nailing it. And me, well, I wasn't. You got lucky this time, Sabrina.
It's good that sisters play games together.
Yeah, right. Stop showing off. If you know so much about the game, I wish you'd actually get sucked into that game.
Oh
Now
my
that'd be
goodness.
something. I bet I'd still win. I suppose she was right. She'd still win. After all, she was Sabrina. My sister always shone bright, passing tests, grabbing the spotlight, and unbeatable in games, while I was just Ella. Plain, average Ella. The next morning, I woke up late, which only
Everyone's
happens when Sabrina
different.
forgets our alarm. We were about to be late for school. Come on, Sabrina. When I checked her room, there was no sign of Sabrina. Then I saw her slippers near her laptop. Like she disappeared.
Where
Really?
is she?
Trying to make me think you're in the game? I laughed, but suddenly I felt the pull towards the laptop, like it was being sucked into it. And just like
She
that,
goes.
I was in a place straight out of a storybook.
Wow.
Huge trees with colorful leaves, bright skies, and tall mountains. There were little streams shining in the sun, and I could hear strange, beautiful sounds everywhere. It was so amazing. This had to be a dream. Ouch! Nope, not a dream. Right then, I heard someone behind me. Turning around, I almost fainted. Dianelle stood there, looking
Wow.
A new face in Asperia? You look lost.
OMG, you're Dianelle. I know everything about you. How you can soar into the air, becoming untouchable while unleashing a storm of sword attacks on your enemies.
Seems you know a lot about me. How about you share your story?
So I spilled the beans, telling him everything.
Oh boy.
I'll help you find your sister. You can't search for her alone.
Just then, Lucius and other heroes joined us, and Dianelle introduced me to them.
We light bearers stand for
They look
justice.
so cool.
Both its wonders and
They really look cool.
Lucius's words hit me hard. Sabrina could be in trouble. But as I set out to look for Sabrina with Dianelle, Lucius, and the rest, I started to feel hopeful. Right in the middle of our journey, we bumped into some Hypogeans blocking our way. I was worried.
Oh dear.
Thinking we were in for a tough fight. That's when Dianelle gave me a look, like he had a plan.
Watch this.
And then suddenly, everything started moving super slow. Dianelle jumped up, sword ready, and it was like I could see every little detail of him slicing through the air. How's everything so slow? What's going on? Just then, Mika fired her ultimate ability. Starshot.
Yeah, maybe because he's got like time, you know, thing. He can freeze time.
Forcefully pushing back her opponent. Be gone. Wow! It's called bullet timing. It lets us slow down time to hit just right.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Rainier, a villain from the Hypogeans, tried to sneak attack me. Lucius jumped in front of me super quick, his shield up.
Well
stopping Rainier's
done.
attack, making him step
That
back.
is cool. That's really cool.
Wow, thank you so much. As we moved ahead, we entered the Dream Realm. and
That's
saw
really
the
awesome.
Dragon, a beast straight out of a nightmare. We have to beat this thing?
Yes, we do.
The fight started, and Necro Dragon unleashed his fearsome dragon's breath upon us.
You can do this.
And blocked the attack, while Lika, Dianelle, the others, and I kept on attacking Necro Dragon. Finally, after the battle, the beast fell, and we saw a path. Following it, we found
Well
Sabrina.
done. She
Ella,
did.
I found you! Can you believe we're actually inside the game? Yes, it's incredible. Right after I arrived, the Necro Dragon captured me. Ella, when I play, I'm fully immersed. It's like I'm not just playing a game. I'm living every moment of it. That's my secret to winning. But you've discovered something even more crucial. The power of working together.
You've shown great
Yeah,
courage
working
today.
together.
Remember, the bond between heroes is the strongest weapon.
And never forget, in Asperia, we stand together against
Yep,
any darkness.
together.
This journey, it was more than just a rescue mission. It was about discovering our strength and the magic of teamwork. And
Yeah,
it's just the
friendship.
beginning. There's a whole world out there in Asperia, waiting for us to explore.
Maybe next time. I think it's time for you both to leave.
The heroes then led us to a portal, telling us it would take us back to our world. Goodbye.
That was so
The next
sweet.
morning, when I woke up, everything seemed normal. Was it all just a dream? Did you have a dream too? About AFK Journey? Yes! We were both stuck in the game. I don't think it was just a dream.
It was real.
What's that under your bed? Curious, I leaned over to look and saw it. The sword Dino
The
had given me.
sword.
It was all real. AFK Journey isn't just any game. It's an epic adventure that brings together strategy, courage, and friendship. With its
Yeah,
unique
friendship
art style,
together.
innovative gameplay features like bullet timing, and a story that unfolds across a beautiful 3D world. It's an RPG experience unlike any other. Available on PC and mobile, it's where you'll find your next great adventure. Asperia awaits. Are you ready to join us and discover the magic that follows?
That's cool. Hey, awesome fans, this is the next one story. It's called My Boyfriend and His Parents Are Hiding a Huge Secret. So let's get to it.
It's Maeve here. Goth,
Hi,
was
Maeve.
the odd one out in school. Please smash that subscribe button before I continue.
She's
I just grew
pretty.
up different. Other kids had play dates, while I had horror marathons. Horror movies, horror books, horror cosplay, you name it, I loved it.
She
but
loves
it usually
horror.
wasn't anyone else's cup of tea. Like, once when I was 15, I met this cute guy at a book club who asked me out and suggested watching the latest horror flick in the cinema.
So-
Big mistake. He spent the whole movie clinging to my sleeve and crying on my shoulder.
She's so
Worst date ever. As I was heading to the
beautiful.
bathroom to wash his tears off my shirt, I bumped into a guy and soda went flying everywhere. Watch where you're going, you blind. Oh, I realized just then that I was staring up into the dreamy eyes of the coolest guy in school, Tao. He was a football star, a genius.
Tao
and
looks
every
like
girl's
would
crush.
match
I was
her.
just
The
thinking
way
about the
they
big
look,
plot
they
twist
look
in the horror movie I
similar.
watched.
You watched a horror movie? Alone?
Yeah, I love horror. Horror's my middle name. Actually, my middle name is Jung, but you know what I mean.
Okay, it was weird, but exactly my brand of
Yeah,
weird.
your
We loved
match.
Horror everything. We both liked hard metal music and had the same favorite books. The more we hung out, it felt
Cool.
like he was the yin to my yang. As
Yeah.
a friend, of course. I mean, a guy like him and a girl like me? Please. One
But
night,
your
we were
match,
waiting
you
for our
both
stargazing
like the
when suddenly
same.
Tao put his hand on mine, and my heart skipped a few beats.
Maeve, you're really different from other girls. In a good way. You're amazing.
And then he
Yeah.
kissed me. I had fireworks.
Oh,
and the whole shebang.
My girlfriend?
Yes, I felt like I'd won the lottery. We were the it couple for months, and I was
So
falling
I'm
head
just
over
happy
heels
of
for
her
him. I was
having
ready to say, "I
someone
love you," and
the
decided to
same
do it
like
at a haunted
her.
house we were visiting later that week. It was gonna be perfect. And that night, when I finally said, "I love you, Tao," he turned to me looking stressed out and said,
I can't do this anymore. I have to break up with you.
"Aha, very funny."
I'm serious, Maeve. My parents are very strict and crazy. They care about traditions and don't allow me to date
look at-
anyone. Especially
What's
if it's a
that
girl out of my
ghost I
culture.
saw
I think
behind
my
him?
sister Jaya already suspects something. I can't have her catching us together.
Huh? What exactly
Yeah,
are
that's
you
ghost
saying?
behind
Over,
them.
Maeve. I'm sorry.
And then he just turned around and left. I tried calling and texting him, but he wouldn't reply. I just couldn't let things end like this. So I
That
found out
must be
Jaya
her
worked at their
parents
restaurant
that-
and went there the next day feeling crazy inside. Jaya, why are you such a witch? What kind of sister won't help her brother date the girl he likes? The whole place went quiet.
Oh,
Everyone
shoot.
turned to look as Jaya walked up to me, wide-eyed.
I'm guessing you're Maeve? Look, please don't create a scene. He's not your boyfriend anymore, and that's that.
It's because he's scared of being caught by you.
You don't get it. Our family traditions keep us strong.
He should have thought of that before. With that, I pushed her away angrily.
Watch it, you stupid girl.
She came at me and we started fighting. But as we pulled each other's hair, she whispered,
I'm on your side, idiot. My parents just got here and they're watching us. We can't
Oh
talk
my
about this
goodness.
here, so leave, you moron.
I let go of her and rushed home, still shaken from the fight. And later that evening, Jaya called me.
I can't tell you everything, but you have to know that my parents are really awful. And Tao has pushed you away because he doesn't want to involve you in our mess. He still cares for you.
Yeah.
You just have to give him a few weeks to figure things out. Please stay away from him till then. He can't be seen with you.
Reluctantly, I agreed to keep my distance from Tao, feeling worried but
I
hopeful
feel
that
sorry
he'd come back to me
for her.
soon and explain everything. Over the next couple of weeks, Jaya and I started talking more, and we got along really well. On a bad day, I was sitting alone on a park bench.
What
missing
is the
Tao badly and
secret?
trying not to cry. Jaya came up to me with a little gift box, and inside was a horror-themed bracelet that was just my style.
Oh,
For
it's
the tough days, to remember
pretty.
you're not alone.
I smiled for the first time
That's very
in weeks.
sweet
I
of
hugged her,
her.
but even though I loved being Jaya's friend, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something really weird was up. She just wouldn't say more about Tao's breakup with me and was super secretive about her parents. She only said they were awful and she hated them. I tried to not think about it too much, but one evening I was feeling
This is
restless and just
something
wanted to
up.
see Tao. I
Something's
went to his
really
parents'
up.
restaurant where I
What
knew he'd be
is
working a
it?
shift, but instead I saw him sitting at a long table with a bunch of people, including Jaya, and next to him was a beautiful girl. And she
Oh,
was putting a ring on her hand.
shoot.
My heart was about to burst, and I just couldn't stop myself from storming in. Tao and Jaya jumped up from their seats as soon as they saw me. You want to tell me what's going on here?
Who is this girl? Wait, wasn't she here one day fighting with you, Jaya? She's just my project partner, Dad, and she gets weird when she hasn't taken her anxiety meds. I'll handle this.
And with that, Tao took my wrist and quickly led me out.
What do you think you're doing? We broke up.
No, you broke up out of the blue, and I
Yeah.
want to know what suddenly happened to us.
What's
You
the
go from dating me
secret?
to
Tell
getting engaged to
her.
someone else in weeks?
There
What?
was no us, Maeve. I never loved you. Telling you that dating you is against our family tradition was just an easy way out, and you fell for it. Can you stop being so pathetic and hung up on me? Surely you'll
Oh,
find some boy out there
shoot.
who's into weirdos.
His words hit me like a sharp slap in the face. I stared at him, speechless, and then I just started running away. Moments later, someone called my name, and I saw it was Jaya coming from the restaurant's back alley.
Maeve, wait, he's lying to you.
Lying? I just saw him getting engaged to another girl with my own eyes. He just told me that he never loved me. What kind of twisted game are you playing by making me think he cares about me?
It's complicated. I'll tell you everything when the time is right. But all this, it's
Just
bigger than
tell
us. You just
her
have to trust
now.
No, I'm not
Just
gonna do
tell
that
her now
anymore.
what's
In the
going
weeks that
on.
followed, I stopped talking to Jaya, avoided her calls and texts, and dodged Tao every chance I got. I was
The poor
done with
girl.
that weird family. To distract myself, I started writing a horror novel. It felt good to put all my feelings into something creative that was just for me. And slowly, I was starting to feel better. But then one day, something turned my world upside down. Mom had a fall at home, breaking her leg
Oh,
pretty
no.
badly. She needed really expensive surgery. The hospital bills were mounting. Dad was working double shifts, and I felt helpless. Then one day,
The
Jaya
poor
appeared at the
girl.
hospital with an envelope.
I heard about your mom, and I want to help with the surgery. It's the least I can do.
No, I can't accept this. Certainly not from you.
Maeve, I'm sorry about everything. I've left home. I just couldn't live with my parents anymore. I'm staying with my friend until I graduate high school.
Okay, and how does this concern me? I really don't care about your crazy family issues, and I just want a peaceful life. Also, I don't need your money.
Don't be stupid. We don't have to be friends again, but just take the money.
How did you get it?
Why do you care? Take it and pay me back when you're ready.
I really did need the money, so I took it. And Mom got better and was discharged some days later.
I just wish you'd
Guilty,
tell
thinking I'd
her
been too
what's
harsh
going
with Jaya, So I
on.
sent her a thank you text and some other funny memes like before. And the next thing I knew, she was at my door.
Yay, my bestie is back.
Well, it's more like I felt obliged to talk to you since you helped me.
Nah, you love me. We both know it.
You're Tao's sister, and he kind of broke my heart brutally in case you forgot.
I didn't forget. Listen, can I take you out for coffee and finally explain everything?
As we sat in a cafe later,
Tell
Jaya
her,
started speaking.
please.
Tao made me swear I wouldn't say anything till it's all taken care of, but I can't keep it in any longer. Maeve, my parents are big mafia criminals. Their restaurant is a front for all their illegal activities. They told us about
Oh,
the
they're
family business a few
mafias.
months ago. So Tao and I could join it. We were both horrified, but we decided to play along so we can actually gather evidence against them. We want to turn them over to the police.
Okay, wow. You all just got a whole lot weirder. Still, how does this explain why Tao dumped me and got
Why
engaged
did
to
that
girl?
person
She's a
went
private
backwards?
investigator. We convinced our parents she's his girlfriend because she's from our culture, and her family is well respected. Getting them engaged just provides really good cover for her to be around all the time. We're close to getting enough evidence, but a few weeks ago my parents got an innocent waiter at the restaurant framed for a crime, and I just couldn't pretend to be okay with all this anymore.
Okay,
I lashed out at them and left
everyone's
home.
freaking out.
This is a lot to process.
Yes,
Listen,
it
Jaya,
is.
I get that you're trying to explain things, but I'm moving on from Tao, and I really don't want to be part of your family drama. I'll return the money as soon as I can, but I don't think we should see each other. Take care and good luck. Just as I was about to leave, suddenly Jaya's parents and Tao walked into the cafe
Oh,
and they
shoot.
spotted us. Tao looked shocked, and his parents looked furious.
Oh,
I was
shoot.
hoping never to see your face in this town again,
Oh,
Jaya.
You
shoot.
think you're so brave running off? You're probably begging for money from this girl, aren't you? Or spreading lies about us to anyone who will listen? You're a shame to the family. family. Stop it. She's your daughter.
Shut up and mind your own business.
Oh,
Enough,
shoot.
Dad. You can't talk to her like that. You're going to talk to your father like this because of some stupid stranger? You ungrateful child.
His hand flew up, aiming for Tao, but I jumped in front. Don't you dare. My fist met his cheek before I even realized what I was doing. He staggered and fell back, and the room fell
Wow.
Tao's mom started screaming and called the police, and the next thing I knew, I was in jail for assault.
Oh,
I was
my
allowed to make a
goodness.
phone call to my parents, but before they reached the police station, I was told my bail had been paid and I was free to go. And I found Tao standing outside with Jaya a few steps behind.
Maeve, I'm really sorry. Look, I don't have time to explain right now, but...
No, I don't have time to listen to you or
Wow.
your crazy sister. I don't care what explanations you have. I just need you and your bizarre family gone from my life for good. Don't ever come near me again. A month after the chaos, Dad got a job
Wow.
offer in another city, and we moved, leaving Tao and Jaya's drama behind. For a year, life was peaceful. I graduated high school and I published 2 horror stories. Until
Good
one
on
day,
her.
out of nowhere, freaking Jaya showed up at my door.
Jaya!
Missing. I couldn't believe it. Just when I thought I was done with all that drama, it pulled me back in.
Once
Oh
my
my
parents discovered
goodness.
Tao's plans to expose them, he disappeared. I don't know if they're involved in his disappearance or if he ran away on his own.
I only dated Tao for a few weeks in high school. Why won't you leave me alone? And why come to me about your brother now?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm desperate. I had to talk to someone, and I'm homeless. I've been living in my car for months now.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
just come on in.
Fine, if you insist, but I'm sleeping in your bed.
Not happening.
My back's really hurting. Maybe because of my new prosthetic leg.
What? You got a fake leg?
No, I'm just trying to guilt trip you into letting me sleep in your bed. Though a little drama might help.
Trust me.
Seriously, China?
Slept on my couch. While we had
Sorry,
coffee in the
trying
next
to say
room,
her
she
name.
did seem really weak and worried. So, what's your plan to find Tao?
I've got no plan. That's why I'm here. You're the writer, right? I was hoping you'd have some ideas.
The only thing I can think of is
Maybe.
hiring a private investigator to find him. Since we can't
Yeah.
call the cops because you're scared of your parents,
I'm broke.
I'll pay for it. I owe you. Jaya's smile spread across her face, and it warmed
You're
my heart.
nice.
We hired a private investigator. but
She's
2 weeks
very
later, We
sweet.
were watching TV when suddenly we came across the news of Jaya's parents being arrested for a long list of criminal charges. We jumped up
Wow.
from our seats in shock, and then up and down in excitement.
Tao finally did it!
Oh my God, he really did it! I hugged Jaya, and we cried
Thank
happy tears.
goodness.
A few days later, Tao showed up at my doorstep.
Oh, thank
thinner
goodness,
and
he's
looked
alright.
older than his years.
Tao, where the heck have you been? We were worried you might be, I don't know, dead.
I had to lay low. I can't even tell you the horrible things our parents did to me to stop me from exposing them, but I managed to escape and finally got evidence to the police.
Are we really out of this hole
That's
now?
so good.
They're gone, Jaya. It's over. We're finally free.
Oh,
And then
thank
he looked at
goodness.
me with a smile. I'm glad you're okay.
Maeve, let me start by saying I'm really sorry. More than you can ever know. I
Yeah.
hated hurting you and I've missed you. Maybe we could start over? Go back to how things were?
Oh, wow. Tao, back from the dead and straight to playing boyfriend? How about we aim for friends and see if you can stick around without disappearing?
She's just playing hard to get. She loves our family drama. Admit it, Maeve. It spices up your writer's life.
Yeah, she does.
My life was spicy enough without your mafia soap opera. But I've got to admit, you two do keep things interesting. Anyway, you look
Excitement.
like you could use a cup of coffee, Tao.
Sounds
Yeah.
really good.
As Jaya
Best.
laughed and walked into the kitchen, Tao and I smiled at each other and followed her.
That's good. So the next one we're doing is my crazy story of living with a psycho brother. So let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn from Argentina, and before I continue, please like and subscribe. My brother Carter is my twin. We don't
Yeah.
look anything alike, but we've always
You
been competitive.
do
On
look
the day
alike.
We were born, we even fought to be the one to come out first. My dad was a professional soccer player, and my mom was a really
Yeah.
successful business executive. They were both super competitive and encouraged us to be the same. Everything was a competition. My brother and I competed to see who could crawl the fastest, who could walk first, hold their breath the longest, and draw the best picture. The winner always got a reward.
Wow.
At the time, it was friendly and fun. We just loved to try and outdo each other. Sometimes the boy
That's
next door,
funny.
Nico, would come over and be the judge. He had a cool camera and loved to take photos, mostly of me making weird faces. Carter thought he could make even weirder faces. So, of course, it became a competition.
Oh dear.
Carter wins again. What? Come on, Nico. Why are you always siding with Carter? That
Yeah.
wasn't even close, and you know You heard what Nico said. I won. We always play fair, sis. Whatever. Carter and Nico became best friends and loved teaming up against me, which was so annoying. Still, I loved my brother. He meant the world to me, so I was always a gracious loser. But Carter, not so much. You cheated. I did not. I beat you fair and square. It only got worse as we got older. My parents pushed us to compete with each other even more.
That's not
Winning
good.
is everything. If
No,
I
it's
win,
not.
My team loses. And if I don't win, my company will fail and I'll be out of a job. But does that mean that everything has to be a competition? Of course it does, dummy. I just wanted to have a normal relationship with my brother, where we didn't always have to prove that we were better than each other. But whatever I did, he had to do it better. I even let him win just so he wouldn't hate me. Not again. I guess you're just better than me. What can I say? Then one day, he crossed a line, and everything changed.
Boy.
When we were in the 10th grade,
good.
I was getting straight A's. I was captain of the girls' soccer team and got the lead in the school play. Carter got B's, didn't even make the boys' soccer team, and only got a tiny part in the play with no lines. He hated that I was doing better than him. He stopped speaking to me in school unless it was to say something mean in front of his friends.
Oh, no.
Hi, Carter. You want to eat lunch together? Wow, you guys smell something? Someone really needs to take a bath. I could tell that Nico didn't like it, but he never stood up for me. When I announced that I was running for class president, Carter ran against me.
Vote for me if you want longer lunch periods. Vote for Ashlyn if you want twice the homework.
And then he humiliated me in front of the entire school.
You can't be
That's
class
not
president if you
good.
have secrets, and my sister has a huge one.
What are you talking about, Carter? I don't have any secrets.
That's not what your diary says.
My body froze like an icicle. I did have one big secret, and in that diary, I must have drawn Nico's name 10,000 times in every color, shape, and size. Carter opened one of the pages and held it up so everyone could see. The entire school burst out laughing.
Oh
And I just
no,
exploded.
that is
I
not
attacked
good.
Carter with all the strength that I had, and it took 5 teachers to pull me off. We were both disqualified from running for president and suspended for a week. I was removed as captain of the soccer team, and they
Oh,
gave the
dear.
lead in the school play to another girl. I was devastated. I couldn't get over how my own brother could betray me. And now so much of my hard work
dear.
had gone down the drain. Even my parents were furious with us, but I knew that Carter was secretly happy. In his mind, we were equals again. My life was ruined, and my grades declined.
That's
It just
not
wasn't
good.
fair. Then one day, I was crying by my locker when I felt a hand on my shoulder. You okay? I turned around to see Nico. My heart started pounding in my chest. I was so embarrassed I tried to run away, but I tripped over my shoelace and fell. But Nico caught me. For a moment, I just lay there in his arms, staring into his big blue eyes. Ashlyn, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Listen, don't be embarrassed about the diary. Carter was a jerk for doing that, but the truth is, I only started coming over to your house in the first place because I had a crush on you. Really? Yeah, and when I would go home, I'd print out the photos I took of you and just stare at them.
That is
Kinda
so
creepy, right?
cute.
About as
Really
creepy as
cute.
having your name written all over my diary. Over the next few weeks, Nico and I spent a lot of time together. And at first, Carter tried to ignore it, but I could tell that it was driving him crazy. I was happy again. My grades went back up, and the girl who took my role in the school play got sick, so I got it back. I even scored the winning goal in our soccer championship game.
Wow,
and was
good
awarded
job.
Most valuable player. Carter finally couldn't take it and confronted Nico and me in the hallway.
Oh,
Nico,
dear.
you can either be my best friend or hang out with my loser sister, but you can't have it both ways. What's it gonna be?
Wow.
Everyone stopped to watch. I was too terrified to speak. I just stared at Nico, who looked like a little boy lost in the woods. But then he made his decision and walked over to Carter. I rushed up to Nico and grabbed his hand. Nico, this is stupid. There's no reason you have to choose. But he does, and he did. Sorry, sis. Nico shoved me away, and my heart shattered into a million little pieces.
no.
What a jerk.
Poor
That night, I
girl.
burst into Carter's room and confronted him. What is wrong with you, Carter? Why do you always treat me like I'm your worst enemy? Because I have to, Ashlyn. What do you mean? It's Mom and Dad and the stupid competitions they make us do, isn't it? You're worried that you're going to disappoint them. I never said that. I know that's what it was. Look, I forgive you for everything, but let's stop this right now before it completely destroys our relationship. Please. For a moment, it looked like I was getting through to him. He seemed so vulnerable. I swear I thought I saw a tear in his eye.
Come on, mate.
It's just,
Come on.
It's just what? But then his body tensed back up like he was suddenly possessed by a demon.
It's just that you're a loser and I will always beat you. Now get out.
The play was coming up in a couple of weeks, so I made a point of staying away from Carter. I knew he would try to sabotage it for me. Then one day, as I was rehearsing my lines, Nico walked over.
Hey, Ashlyn.
What do you want?
I want to apologize for my behavior. Carter is my friend, but he has no right to control who I talk to. I went with him that day because I wanted to help him see that what he was doing was wrong. But I was a real jerk, and if you never want to talk to me again, I deserve it.
At that moment, I realized how much I truly loved Nico. So I let my anger go. And from that point on, Nico and I were inseparable. On the night of the play, I heard that there was going to be a huge talent agent in the audience. This was my big chance. But when I got up on stage, I completely forgot my lines. I had been so lost in my thoughts about Nico that I lost focus on the play. The theater was silent, but I could see Carter sitting all the way in the back next to Nico, and he was laughing. Then it hit me. This was his plan the whole time. He sent Nico to distract me. I was furious, but I wasn't about to let Carter win. So I gathered myself, took a deep breath, and suddenly I remembered my lines. I poured all of my anger into the performance.
Good job, girl.
I got a standing
Good
ovation.
job.
I couldn't believe it. As I was leaving, the talent agent ran up to me.
You were fabulous up there. I think you could be a star.
Oh,
Really? Yes.
good job.
You, Ashlyn. As she handed me her card, I looked for Carter, not because I wanted to rub it in his face, but because I wanted to share it with him. For just a moment, I thought maybe he would be happy for me, but he was gone. I felt like such an idiot for even thinking that. Then Nico came up to me.
You were amazing up there.
No thanks to you and Carter, you tricked me.
I didn't know about his plan until tonight, I swear. When he told me I should spend time with you, I thought he had changed, but it was just a plan to distract you. I'm done being his friend.
Why should I believe you, Nico?
Because I love you, Ashlyn.
And then he kissed me. I nearly melted right there in the middle of the theater. But then I caught a glimpse of Carter in the doorway. He looked sad. Over the next few months, I started going out on auditions, and right after graduation,
He does
I
look
booked my
sad.
first movie. Overnight, I became a huge action star. Nico was there for me every step of the way. Every time I booked a new role, Nico would come.
She
and visit me
changed
on
her
set.
hair.
I barely ever saw Carter. He started staying out late at night and skipping school so he didn't graduate. After that, Carter moved to another city. Life was good, but I hated not having Carter around. I worked so hard to get where I am,
She misses
Nico.
her
And while I
brother.
should be happy with my success, still, I can't stop thinking about Carter.
He's an adult, Ashlyn. He chose to act the way that he did. Instead of trying
But
to make
it's
himself
her
better, he
brother.
tried to tear you down, and it didn't work.
I know, but I don't think it's all his fault. My parents turned us against each other from the day we were born. They taught
Yeah.
us to be this way. A couple years later, Nico asked me to marry him. I wanted to invite Carter to the wedding, but no one had heard from him or knew where he was. I had an old number for him, and I often left him messages, but he never returned my calls. Then I got nominated for a prestigious acting award for one of my action movies. I was going to be on TV in front of millions of people at the award show. So every designer wanted me to wear their fancy dresses and their
Wow.
really expensive jewelry.
That's
I chose
cool.
a stunning yellow diamond necklace that was worth millions of dollars. I left a message for Carter telling him about the great news. I wasn't sure if he would ever receive it, but it felt good to hear his voice. The night of the award show, something crazy happened. Nico and I stopped at my parents' house so my
Carter
mom could
was
help me
there?
get ready before the show. As Nico and I were walking to our limo, a robber wearing a mask jumped out in front of us.
Don't
He
tell
shoved
me
Nico
that's
to the ground and
Carter.
snatched the
Carter.
yellow diamond necklace. I sprang
Don't
into action
tell
and used
that's
the kung
Carter.
fu moves I'd learned from my movies.
Don't
I
tell
punched
it's
the
her
robber in the face,
brother.
kicked him in the stomach, grabbed the necklace, and then pinned him to the ground.
Ouch, that hurts.
I
that
recognized
a
the robber's
brother?
voice. I snatched off his mask. It was Carter. My parents heard the commotion and ran outside. Carter, what are you doing?
I'm so sorry, Ashlyn. I should have listened to you. But I was so obsessed with winning that I ended up losing everything. And now look at me. I haven't eaten in days. So when I heard your message about the award show and the necklace, I decided to steal it. It was a dumb idea.
It's okay, Carter.
No, it's not. I was a horrible brother and a worse friend. I hope that one day you can forgive me. This is all our fault. We were wrong to always push you two to compete against each other. We didn't realize the damage that we were doing. We are so sorry. We've always been so incredibly proud
I'm
of
glad
both
you
of you.
apologized
I
to
forgave
them.
Carter and my parents.
Nico held my hand as the host took the stage. Then, the host called my name. Get up there, Ashlyn. You won. I walked onto the stage to accept my award. When I looked out and saw Carter, Nico, and my parents smiling up at me,
That's what
I couldn't
it's
help but
supposed to
cry.
be.
It was a dream come true.
Oh my goodness, that was emotional. I'm so glad she's got a brother back. Okay, this will be the last one. It's called My Parents Disappeared and Left Me with 5 Kids. So let's get to it.
Imagine being on a date at the best
Hey
restaurant in
girl.
town, and then the waiter trips and drops his tray full of live lobster.
Oh my
and literally
goodness.
pinches you.
Oh,
This is not even the most
ouch.
embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. Let's take it from the beginning. My mom was a Red Cross advocate for women's rights, and my dad was her bodyguard. So they were always off to this gala or the other, and they left us back with an army of nannies. And when I say us, I mean me and the Chaos Crew, also known as my 5 younger siblings. Food battles, mud fights, glitter bombs. They were so
Wow.
extra. Even Mary Poppins would snap her little umbrella and shuffle up a chimney to escape from them. Every time another nanny left, we got the talk.
I'm disappointed in all of you, but especially you, Martha. You're the oldest. You should lead by example.
Oh my
I haven't done
goodness.
anything.
Exactly. How are you supposed to become a leader of the future if you can't even lead your siblings?
If you were home teaching us instead of running around, I wouldn't have to take charge.
What I do is important.
More important than your family? When Mom didn't immediately reply, my heart shattered. I rushed to my room and locked it when Mom came to talk to me later.
Martha, I'm sorry. Of course I love you.
Then don't go.
I have to. But we'll talk when we come back. I promise.
Maybe it's better if you never come back. It was like fate really had a twisted sense of humor in her.
Oh my
Mom and Dad did
goodness.
not return from their last trip to the Amazon. I felt like it was my fault that they didn't return. My punishment. The police sent out search parties and even used
That's
drones
not
to look
good.
for
What
people
happened to her parents?
It's a lot, right? But stay with me. You've already liked and subscribed, haven't you? Don't cry. Mom and Dad will
Yeah.
come back. Dad's a tough bodyguard and Mom's faster than a tiger. I'll take care of you in the meantime. I'll be a leader, Mom,
That's
just like you wanted.
sweet.
Please come back. But I was only 15 and I knew nothing about adulting.
She's
I was suddenly
young.
surrounded by lawyers asking me questions and making me sign things. Just pretend you know what you're doing and you'll be fine. Yeah, it wasn't fine. One of my mom's lawyers turned out to be a total simp.
Oh
He
my
conned his way into getting
goodness.
guardianship over everything, and then he kicked
Oh
us
my
out and took
goodness.
control of all the assets. You can't do this.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you over the sound of all the money you just signed off to
You
me.
Wait until Mom and Dad are
greedy.
back. They'll send you to jail.
You mean when they come
You
back from the
greedy,
jungle?
selfish guy.
I've got a fortune to spend. Goodbye.
I was super angry, but I didn't have time for it. The Chaos Crew had turned into a miserable bunch, and I needed to take care of them first. Right, first step, let's find a place to live. We all put
Yeah.
our birthday cash together, and it was enough for a couple of months' rent. Finding someone willing to rent to a group of teenagers was quite a challenge. So I had this crazy idea to dress up like an old lady, and somehow managed to get us a lease. Luckily, it was still the summer holidays, so I had time to take up all the gigs I could find, like a plant manager, where I literally had to water plants, cornfield pollinator, and even party entertainer. These children
Oh, she's
are wilder
being
than my
Elsa.
siblings. Let it go! Let it go! Ah!
Here, let me help you up.
At least my parents are kind. My siblings pitched in as well. They baked tons
That
of
was
cookies
funny
and sold them,
when she
pretending
said
they were
let it go
sales,
and
they
just
muddied
being
everyone's cars at
Elsa.
night so they could offer a wash-up service in the morning. At a premium, of course. Who knew that being little devils would come in handy? By the time school started,
Aw,
I had turned 16,
sweet little
and we had all
ones.
transferred to public school. I was so nervous on the first day. And then I got to class, and all the desks were already taken. Now I'll have to stand in the corner like a potted plant. But then a girl sitting in the last row waved at me. She was dressed in this white
Oh,
flannel
hey,
shirt with space buns. and
she's
her desk
so
was hidden under
pretty.
a pile of comics. Come here, we can share.
Oh, that's
there's a
nice
desk under
of
all
her.
that? Where can I get a chair? Oh, we'll share mine. By the way, I'm Bree. You can call me Brilliant. Bree was a weirdo,
Hey,
but she was also
Bree.
pretty awesome.
She's
She gave
so
me all her
sweet.
notes and knew all the juicy gossip. That girl there, her mom works in marketing, so she always knows the latest discount codes. And that one
Wow.
there, don't talk about her nose. We became best friends, and eventually I told her about my story. I want to save up enough cash so I can find my parents. You're so strong. I want to be like you. You're perfect the way you are. I'm not. I'm almost 17, and I've never had a boyfriend. Ever Everyone I confess to just rejects me, and Darius doesn't even know I exist. Darius was Bree's crush and the captain of the school's chess team. Are you sure he's the right guy for you? He is the one, I can feel it. And this time, I'm going to get my confession right. Bree's plan was as crazy as she was. She
Just
got
take
dressed up as a
a
chess piece
deep
and painted
breath
the whole club room
and
as a giant chessboard with a banner that said, "Will you be my checkmate?" But when Darius walked into the door, he freaked out.
Where is it?
What?
My chessboard! There was a game I've been playing since I was a freshman.
oh,
We
brother.
just moved it. There? Darius was so furious, he wanted to call the principal.
Oh my
And then one of his friends
goodness.
intervened. I didn't see who he was because I was too busy pulling a crying Bree away.
Someone
He was serious,
save.
dude. After that, Bree was done with the guys. And honestly, I had my own problems to deal with. Like the time I was getting out of the shower and this gigantic cockroach came out of the drain. I
Ew!
screamed and hit it with the shampoo
Yeah,
bottle,
that's
but then
the
even
right.
more of them started crawling out.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, yeah, it happens. Why do you think the flat was so cheap?
We tried spraying them with gas, but the crawlers kept multiplying. We need a new flat ASAP. Martha, wise up and ask for a raise. But when I showed up for my part-time gig at the Party Entertainer Company, the door was sealed off with bright yellow FBI tape and the entire place cleared out.
Oh, man,
Oh my-
I loved this job.
At least
What
you get to keep a
happened?
costume.
What costume? These are my normal clothes.
That is very creative. I never thought I'd meet someone more colorful than Bree. Hey, wait a second. Cute, smart, and probably colorblind. He's just perfect. Jasper, how would you like to meet a friend of mine? The moment I introduced Bree and Jasper,
Aw,
it was
that's
instant
so
love. They were like two very
cute.
colorful peas
That's
in a
sweet
super
of
bright pod. Shortly
her.
after, they started dating. Martha, you are a lifesaver. I was seriously starting to think I'd be a crazy cat lady forever. And it was an easy match. You have so much in common. A couple of months later, it was
Aw,
Jasper's
that's
birthday
so
party.
sweet
I
of
introduced him
her.
to his sister Trinity, who was like a Wednesday to
Ooh.
his boo. They came out of the same womb. I can't believe someone like Jasper found such a cute girlfriend, and I'm still single. All the boys care about is looks, and no one cares about brains. As I watched
Need
Trinity cut
someone
marshmallows into
that
cubes and stack them
likes
into perfect columns, I
stuff that
realized
she
there was at
likes.
least one boy who could appreciate her, so I texted him. Oh, I hope I won't regret this. The party was in full swing when, what's Darius doing here? Actually, I invited him. What? Trust me. Hey, Darius. Hi, this is Trinity, and she likes cube-shaped marshmallows.
Round marshmallows make no sense.
Finally, someone who gets it. And just like that, Darius the
Oh,
ice cube
cool.
started melting. See, I told you he wasn't the right one for you. She is. OMG, you're right. You're like the matchmaking queen. I realized
Yeah,
how
she
happy those
is.
words made me. Helping other people
That
is
can
so
be her
cool.
job,
Fate was once again ready
matching
to kick me down
people
because
for.
I got a call from the hospital. What happened? They're saying my
Her
brother picked up the
kids.
sandwich from the bin, but it had some glass in it, and now he needs stitches. This is all my fault. If
Oh
we
my
had more money, he'd
goodness.
never pick food from the bin. And now, how am I going to pay for the operation? We don't have insurance. I even tried to call the snake lawyer, but
Oh, I love that you think I should care. Bye.
luckily the operation was a success, and my brother was okay. When I got to the hospital and asked for the bill, the receptionist told me it had already been paid. It was a young guy. There, he's just walking into the elevator. I tried to catch up with him, but the elevator doors shut in my face. Gosh,
That must be the right one for her.
Missy. Thanks to my mysterious angel, the accident had resolved well, but it had shown me how much I needed a new job. After
I
Darius
wonder
and
if
Trinity
he's
became
a
a
young
thing, the whole
security
school
guard
was buzzing with
helping
the
her
rumor
out.
that I was the one who set them up. People were begging me to find them their perfect match.
Oh,
Every time I opened my
so
locker, I was buried in a pile
cute.
of profiles and
She's
love
got-
letters. How do I fix this? I'm happy to help, but I can't keep doing this for everyone. I gotta focus on finding a new part-time job. Well, why don't you open a matchmaking agency? But I feel bad to ask people to pay for love. Then only ask for a donation from the successful ones. And who knows, maybe you'll find the right match for yourself as well. Right.
It's
I
the
have time
one
for that,
that's
but
already
right,
that
this is something
helping
I'm
her,
good at. I should at
you
least
know,
try. So the next day I got Bree and
helping
Jasper
her
to help
out.
me throw
That's
my
the
first
right one
matchmaking
for
party.
her.
By the end of the night, the donation box was bursting with cash, and everyone was coupled up. Almost everyone. As I stepped into the bathroom, a girl ran up to me, and she was dripping wet. How could you match me up with that dimwit? I told him, pass me the water, and he poured it on me. Him as in, I checked my notes. Kuro? Kuro was one of my top candidates. 1 year older than me, and a looker. Plus, he aced all his classes. Oh, and he loved hamsters, and gaming, and, well, to be honest, I might have stalked his online profile a bit. Can't help that he's so cute. And then he called my mom your grandma. It has to be on purpose. I'm sorry. I'll find you a new match. How about Timothy? Thankfully, Timothy was a total catch, so the girl was happy, and my reputation was saved. My agency was killing it, and my siblings and I
That's
finally moved out of
good.
Cockroachville. But to track down
The cockroaches was crying.
tackling my biggest issue. Hero, what's up with him? On paper, he's a catch, but every girl I set him up with comes back with a nightmare story. He took me on a boat trip and we almost sank.
We went ice skating, but he didn't know how to stop and we crashed.
We tried a cooking class and he somehow managed to burn the spaghetti, set off the fire alarm, and evacuate the entire restaurant. He's ruining my perfect score. How can someone
I
be really
wonder
that
if
clumsy?
that's
Maybe
the
you need
guy
to find
that's
out by
helping
yourself.
you
He
out.
was
Maybe
right.
it's
So I
the
bought
right
wig
for
and
you.
contact lenses and set up myself for a date with Kiro. As soon as he entered the restaurant, he tripped
I
on his own feet
reckon.
and crashed into the waiter, and everyone was looking at us. But instead of being angry, I just smiled. So, Kiro, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm kinda clumsy. I'm sorry.
It's not so easy to scare me. I mean, I survived a cockroach invasion.
A what?
So I told Kiro everything about my horrible flat and crazy summer jobs. He laughed and then got back from the toilet with a whole roll stuck under his shoe, which then led to the lobster accident, which I told you about.
Oh,
And
yeah.
gosh, he really is a menace. You're giving up? Never. The second date was better. We only got a batch full of super salty popcorn. The third date was almost normal. And by the fourth, I realized he'd done nothing clumsy. Wow, I guess he was just nervous. I started to get so comfortable around him that I even told him about my mom and dad's disappearance.
Don't lose hope. I bet they're still out there somewhere.
I know they are. If it hadn't been for that awful lawyer.
What lawyer?
After I explained how we got conned, Kiro was super mad.
I can't believe he can get away with something like that.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. Who is the police gonna believe?
There must be some evidence.
The more I listened to Kiro, the more I realized he was right. I didn't have time or money before to go after him, but now it's time for the Chaos Crew's return and get our revenge. That night, we went
That
to the old
guy's
house
the
and
right
some
one
old
for
rotted
you,
paintings and all the air vents.
sweetheart.
Less than half an hour later, the people inside were opening all the windows. Stage 2, go. Dressed up as a cleaning crew, my siblings ran
Yes,
at the door
go.
while I sneaked through a window. It was dark, but I
Just
grew
be
up in this
careful,
house. I know it
sweetie.
like the back of my hand. I waited until the Chaos Crew started to fill all the vents with flour, making everyone cough, and then I went into the study. Okay, focus.
Just be
I
careful.
won't leave around a folder with evil plan written on it. So,
Yeah.
as I looked into a drawer, that's exactly what I found. As
Evil
I scanned through the
plan.
pages, everything became clear. My parents. I can't believe they.
Drop that.
I looked around.
It
to see
was
if
the
there
law.
anything like
That
a-
evil lawyer. He made her parents
I thought I
disappear.
smelled the rat. Now be a good girl and
Conk, the lawyer dropped, and behind a big law book.
the power of knowledge, eh?
OMG, thank you. But how did you find me?
I might have followed you. Sorry, I was worried.
While Kiro tied
Yeah.
him up and called the police, I whipped out the phone and called the number I had found in the evil plan folder. Sugar Beater's Bakery? Yes, I have to place an order for 27 cinnamon rolls. Thank you. Please work. Please work.
Attack!
Mistaking Kiro for a bad guy, my siblings jumped him. And by the time I pried them away, the police had arrived.
Arrest them! They're trespassing!
It's not your house. My parents are missing, not dead. So by law, my signatures are invalid. But the
Yeah.
evidence was clear, and the police dragged him away. It turns out we weren't the only family he had conned.
He's going to be in
Oh my
prison
goodness.
for a very long time.
A few days later, my siblings and I returned to our parents' home. I invited Kiro, Bree, and my friends to celebrate, but I couldn't
That-
sit still. Finally, the doorbell rang, and when I opened the door, my parents were there, alive and well.
My babies.
We're so sorry. We were working with native communities to
Yeah.
stop illegal activities, but we were forced to go underground to save the project.
We left our lawyer a number and a safe message so that you could reach us in case of an emergency.
That's the call you made?
Yes, that arrogant man had written everything down. He was supposed to explain everything and take care
Yeah.
of us. Instead, he even told our parents to stay away because we had received some threats.
We should have never trusted him.
But now you're home and you're going
I'm
to stay,
so
right? Mom and
glad.
Dad looked at each other, and for a moment, I was afraid that they might leave again.
Of course we're staying.
We learned our lesson.
And who are
That's
all
good.
these nice young people?
I introduced all my new friends to my parents and told them how much they had helped me. But when it was Kiro's turn, I hesitated. Is he a friend, a date, a boyfriend? He doesn't even know I'm the matchmaker. This is Kiro, and I've never been completely honest with him. I turned to him. I hope he understands. Kiro, I'm not one of your matches. I am the matchmaker. I braced myself, expecting rejection, but...
I already knew.
What?
Why do you think
Yeah.
I was such a loser with other girls? I've had a crush on you since Bree's wild confession to Darius. But you were so wrapped up in your agency, you never even gave me a second glance. I had to do something drastic to get you to notice me.
Bree's confession, but I squinted at him. Right, he was the guy who stopped Darius from going to the principal. And
Yep.
OMG, you also paid for my brother's hospital bill.
Yeah, I overheard you talking about it at Jasper's party.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want you to go out with me because of money.
I couldn't believe he'd done all that just to date me.
It's
This
so
answers my
sweet.
question.
I knew
Mom,
it was
Dad, I'd
him.
like to introduce you to Kiro, my perfect match. I grabbed Kiro's hand, and as I saw the happiness on his face, I knew I had made the perfect choice.
That is
Welcome to the
so
family,
sweet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, a lot of emotions of all of the Idios. That'll be it for now, awesome fans. Don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe and comment down below. Have a nice day, awesome fans. Bye.